Welcome to episode 3.5 of Zulxochi's adventures. This is going to be another point 0.5 one, as this is going to get a little bit messy this episode. Let's not consider it part of the main canon, shall we say. It's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to give a little tour of the druid home and then do a dungeon. You see, all the druids, just simply by virtue of being a druid, you get the spell called Teleport Moonglade, which will teleport you to Moonglade. And you might be wondering, what is Moonglade? Well, Moonglade is a sacred site of the druids. It is where Malfurion, a major lore character who we will meet in the Warcraft 3 playthrough series once Warcraft Reforged comes out, learned how to be a druid, how to become the very first druid, officially spellcaster who was called a druid, shall we say, by a demigod called Cenarius. And that is this place, Moonglade. It's on the north side of Kalimdor, and it is very far away from where we just were in Hillsbrad. Right there. So yeah, we just teleported across the planet to a completely different continent, right here, to beautiful, beautiful Moonglade. And yeah, this is a zone that druids can just go to as much as they want. Other players typically will need to be high enough level to fly or travel through the dangerous areas surrounding it, such as Fellwood and Winterspring, to get here. But the reason I want to go here is because there's a special druid quest around this level. The Circle's future. The Cenarian Circle, which is the druid organization, so to speak. The Cenarian Circle is pleased with your progress, Zulxochi. You are a credit to all druids, and we look forward to you and your peers as future of our brotherhood. The Circle has decided to honor you with the creation of a unique staff. The rare and powerful materials needed for your staff can only be found in Shadowfang Keep, deep inside Silverpine Forest. Travel there and retrieve Lord Walden's collection of elixirs, a supply of Moontouch wood, and sinew from the ghouls and geists infesting the keep. So if we go there, we get to have a fancy staff. Hey, we want a fancy staff. It's a fancy druid staff. We want that. Good luck. Now, be prepared for what is going to be extremely messy and confusing. The random dungeon joining. I just queued us up for Shadowfang Keep. We'll probably get the dungeon pop in a couple of seconds. Well, we already have 3 DPS. Wait, didn't I sign as... Yeah, I signed as a tank. Okay, so just waiting for a healer. In the meantime, I'll explore the region a little bit. There's this beautiful lake. Lake Ilunara. Which is deep and full of mysteries. And by deep, I do mean deep. There we go. Let's have a look-see around down here. Ah, there's a mysterious bubbly fissure. This is for non-druids to use because you can breathe here. And what is this? Mysterious. It has an ominous, nightmarish glow. Let's not go near it. Whoa. And there is a little troll tent. Because trolls are druids too, and that's why I had a little bit of a question mark with the whole Malfurion, the first druid When the Zandalari have been practicing Druidism for far longer, they just didn't call it Druidism. But from what I can tell, at least, the Zandalari have been, transforming into dinosaurs for longer than Night Elves as a species exist. So, making Malfurion the first Druid seems a bit of a stretch. Then again, the Zandalari didn't really call it Druid. So, yeah, that's why my working theory is at least that Malfurion is the first one to officially bear the title of Druid, but that doesn't necessarily make him, technically speaking, the first Druid. In a more, shall we say, mechanical sense. Trolls were Druids before him. Yes. Malfurion's Barrow Dens. Stormrage Barrow Dens. We will actually go into the Barrow Dens in Warcraft 3. For now, let's just have a quick look inside. I'm surprised the dungeon hasn't popped yet. Oh well, we can explore at our leisure. So yeah, these sorts of caves, this is where Night Elf Druids retreated to fall asleep. And sleep for literally thousands of years. Lazy gits. They do that to tend to a sort of ethereal dream world called the Emerald Dream, which is a blueprint, a natural blueprint of Azeroth that needs careful tending to and maintaining. A Night Elf society for the longest time had been completely gender segregated when all the males essentially became druids and started living in the dream, and all the women were left behind with massive blue ovaries, so to speak, and became the sentinels, guarding Mount Hyjal and the forests and the Moonglade and all their sleeping husbands. Ah, there we go. Shadowfang Keep is ready to go. Now, get ready for a chaotic mess. We are going to run through this dungeon. Probably because people are impatient. So we're going to wait for everybody to pick up the quest. I already have the quest. Don't ask me why. It's a messy story. But yes.
I need to target something first.
So, this is me adventuring along with 4 other people.
I do not have a target.
And this is basically how it's gonna go. We're gonna run around and just kill everything.
I must get closer.
So, in order to satisfy the demand for blood that my apparently old orc party, no, not old orc, there's one Forsaken among them.
I need to target something first.
Yeah, so in order to satisfy the lust for blood that my party members have here,
I am out of range.
we are going to just quickly try to keep them happy and savage all the enemies that are heading our way. In this case, we're going to build up rage and then fight Baron Ashbury, the first boss of this dungeon. We cast Pain and Suffering, which is a powerful spell on one of our players to inflict lots of damage. And then Asphyxiate, which will bring our entire party to low health. And follow that up with Stay of Execution, which will heal everybody back up to around 40%. Basically, he's a torturer. He wants to drag this fight out, which is why he keeps choking you to near death and then healing you back up to half health. But if you die anywhere in between, well, then the fight's over. Now, Baron Ashbury is a Gilnean commander who was raised by Sylvanas to help in her war against the Worgen. But him and his associates, Lord Godfrey and Lord Walden, all betrayed Sylvanas and murdered her. However, Sylvanas was raised back by sacrificing some of her most loyal servants. And now she sent Deathstalker Commander Belmont and the rest of the Deathstalker buddies that he's got here, veteran Forsaken Troopers, to go and deal with the problem. And he, in turn, sends us to go deal with the problem because we are a hero. I tried doing this dungeon by myself earlier, which is why I have the first quest done, which was to kill Baron Ashbury, that I managed to do by myself. But the problem is that, yeah, going deeper in here by myself just proved too difficult. So I'm gonna throw in the towel and just get assistance on this one.
I need to target something.
There we go. Got some Moon Touch wood. Oh, this group is actually surprisingly friendly and docile so far. They haven't been yelling at me to move faster. They appear to just be in control. Ah, there's more wood. There we go. So yeah, Shadowfang Keep. Well, this is one of the places that during the Third War got really messed up. Which is why it's full of haunted troops and all sorts of undead monstrosities. And we are currently running through the kitchens. And we'll be okay with annoying a couple of ghostly cooks. This would be very dangerous to fight by myself. But with a shaman healing me, Mr. Fixron Jenkins, and Sweet Cake, and Ishkor, and Lothar Ogar the Seeker, we will be fine. To make things easier on our healer, I thought, you know what, I'm gonna pop I ran over there and popped an incapacitating roar to just interrupt some spell casts for a moment. Because all these shadowy attendants are casting spells at me, which hurt. It looks like we've got this all under control. Now then. We have to fight Baron Silverlane. Baron Silverlane is an interesting boss in that he will summon Worgen spirits. He will summon, in fact, the old bosses of Shadowfang Keep, because this dungeon has been updated and they've replaced all the bosses with new ones. Such as Odo the Blind Watcher. He's an old boss from the previous Shadowfang Keep, and this boss is a nice little homage who will summon all the old ones from the old storyline that you can't experience anymore unless you play World of Warcraft Classic. Which I won't, but if you were to go back there, you would find
I do not have a target.
other older bosses.
I
Now
must
then.
get closer.
Overlord Cromrush comes in, teleports in to reprimand the Forsaken forces currently present here. Because Sylvanas is not sticking to the deal. I had to pull back there for a moment because our healer buddy wasn't keeping up, which is my fault. I ran ahead. He was probably actually enjoying the story. I have, however, gotten so used to getting rushed by people that I automatically assumed I had to push forward. Which is why I don't like doing dungeons with strangers. I really don't. But hey, I want my fancy druid staff. Aye. Aye. Oh no, that's a lot of dudes.
That item is still judging.
Okay, we're going to focus on damage reduction by keeping Iron Fur up, giving us high armor. That's a lot of dudes. I'm going to save all this rage for the boss. Okay. Now, this boss has some nasty abilities, which is exactly why... There we go. He drops that big green puddle of stuff over there, which you want to run out of, because it hurts like hell. And that's why I first dragged him towards the back of the room. So that he could keep moving and not have our ranged spellcasters and attackers caught in the crossfire. Okay. Now then. Collect more of the moon-touched wood.
That better be good.
Alright. I've sent my men forward to the rooftop, secure the area around Lord Walden. There's a thick skull and a fool's brain. We use that to our advantage. Buy time until he finds out about the plague's potency. It'll be far too late. Thank you for keeping quiet during the tirade. I promise you won't regret it. Okay. Oh, the rest of the group has run on ahead, so I don't have time to read the quest text for now. But hey, that's okay. They should be fine without me, just for a little bit. And I'll read through the quest text whilst we're adventure.
I need to target something first.
Alright. Unsurprisingly... Wait. Unsurprisingly, we aren't going to listen to Cromrush about the plague. Yeah, that's more, you know, hiding the fact that we're using a bioweapon that is, again, explicitly against the War Chief's orders. Yeah, well, let's see. About the plague. However, his brute strength will come in handy for the foes ahead. On the path to Lord Godfrey, the most powerful being his right-hand man, Lord Walden. I'll meet you in Walden's chamber after you finish him off. Then at long last we can completely take Shadowfang Keep for the Forsaken. So yeah, we are just the whole storyline of this region is we are trying to push forward and help the Forsaken lay a firmer claim around the surrounding lands of Old Lordaeron. And we're doing that by using, well, what has been deemed by the rest of the Horde to be an illegal method of warfare. But that's kind of a theme with the Horde, is that it doesn't appear to all be on the up and up. Particularly Sylvanas' part, her and her Forsaken, she keeps giving dubious orders. Which is why in the current timeline, all the way at the end of Battles for Azeroth, she has been removed. Because she is garbage. And a criminal. And just the actual worst. Go. So yeah, we are traveling deeper and deeper and further up into the keep, trying to track down the people who killed Sylvanas. Though personally I would much rather high-five them at this point than actually fight them. But you know, we're following the script, the storyline. And at this point, dubious as she may be, we are currently still laboring on the delusion that Sylvanas actually has some form of loyalty and gratitude towards the Horde. The truth of the matter, of course, is that she does not. Because she is the absolute worst. But that's okay. As long as we can level up, we can work through that story. Maybe I'll try telling it in a more... maybe I'll use Zulorg and actually fly through the zone and narrate the events in more detail later. For now, the only reason we're here is... Oh my god! Don't just pull the boss! Well, somebody just got impatient. A good thing that this boss's door doesn't actually close. There are some bosses where once you pull the boss, the door closes, and then everybody who isn't in just gets, you know, has to wait outside and can't do anything. And then often gets killed, because after the boss is done killing everybody inside the room, he will kill everybody outside the room. And as long as a boss is pulled, you can't release when you're dead. So then everybody's in trouble. So what does Lord Walden do? He will throw around poison and frost. As you just saw, it was raining ice shards. Let's see, I am here to collect some... Oh, Circle's Future. Or I could just loot the thing that I wanted off him. Good. And we're just waiting for Deathstalker Belmont to open the door. And High Overlord Cromrush, the actual eyes of the War Chief, is moving on to fight Lord Godfrey. We are going to wait here to turn in the next quest and get the next quest. Because that is quite a bit of experience. So, now, where was I? Yeah, the next quest. If all goes well, you'll just be able to walk right into Godfrey's personal domain and take the reward fitting for a much eager young druid. Godfrey is a cunning foe though, so it may be wise to head up there quickly, just in case you're needed. He will pay for what he did to the Dark Lady. Yeah, because currently we're assuming that, you know, Cromrush is a powerful Orcish warrior. He will probably just rush in there by himself and finish him off. So all that remains for us is just trot up after him and maybe do some cleaning up. But, Why are there undead guards all over the place? Maybe something didn't go quite right up here. Sure seems a bit suspicious.
I do not have a target.
I think I'll try retelling this story once I've out-leveled it and can just walk through it by myself. Probably do a whole dungeon series that way. Every single World of Warcraft dungeon. Might be fun, telling the story of every single World of Warcraft dungeon. For now, consider this a little preview of the horrible messiness of trying to run a dungeon with a bunch of idiots.
What do you need?
Cromrush is sitting here, looking injured.
I am out of range.
Cromrush, what happened? The coward killed them. Poisoned me. Okie dokie. So, all his troops are dead, and he's been poisoned, so he's taken out of action. That means it's up to us to clean up. Now, here's the thing with Lord Godfrey. Is the best way to deal with him is to pull him down to the ground floor, where you have lots of space for fighting him. So he will summon a bunch of ghouls, and then with Pistol Barrage he will kill his own ghouls if you position him correctly. Which is of course the correct way of fighting him. Trying to line him up with his ghouls. I didn't manage to line him up in time. He fires his pistol barrage in the wrong direction! That's okay. He's about to go down. He even gives us some nice gloves. That's very mighty neighborly of him. Well, sweet, merciless revenge. For a moment there, I thought all was lost. Even when surrounded by the Worgen and Gilneas, I had higher hopes. But you proved me wrong, Zulxochi. I will see to it that Sylvanas herself hears of your triumph here today. Don't worry about the mess here. I will gladly see to it myself. In other words, hide more evidence. I will take your sandals of sacrifice. And I will put them on. Well then. Now we can leave the instance group, and this will teleport us back to Moonglade. Extremely convenient. Yeah, we were going to hand in that quest. Let's just swim across the lake. Oh. Yeah. There we go. Have a nice little swim. Have a nice little drink. Because all this constant talking is not necessarily great for my voice. Look at how pretty we are. It's like a mosasaur with tusks and really tiny and fancy jewels. It's so fancy. Super fancy. While we're here, we might as well actually visit the person in charge of this place. A keeper of the grove. And a son of the demigod Cenarius. Keeper Remulos. He's in charge of Moonglade. And He looks exactly like his dad. Very much so. So yeah, the Keepers of the Grove, they have deer bottom halves and night elf looking top halves. And their sisters are the Dryads, who also look like deer elf hybrids. And yeah, this place very much is a night elf area. But because it's controlled by the Cenarian Circle rather than by the actual Sentinels, it's friendly to the Horde, as well as to the Alliance. The Druids are completely neutral and wish to not be part of the war. But it's very convenient as a Druid to have access to this area, because you can always, just any time that you want to have a rest, and from this point on we will do that, anytime you want to have a rest and log out, you can just teleport here and go to the inn. Doesn't matter where you are. And you'll be right back to where you were next time you teleport back. Hey, why do I have to turn this in? Circle's future. Not with him. Mm-hmm.
How may I help?
How can I help you, Druid? Did you bring the materials I need for your staff? Yes. Well, we can choose. Do we want a wacky stick or a casty stick? I think I'll go with the... It doesn't particularly matter. They look the same, and all I'm doing it for is for the looks.
Farewell.
But hey, now we can whoop, 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 whoop. Hop on our yak. Wait, that's the vendor. There we go. And change this to look like a staff of the Verdant Circle. Yay! And now we have a fancy plant druid staff with a green glow. That's what we always wanted. Anyway, let's go back. And wait, what? I appear to be having some problems here. Huh. Okay. That's amusing. I'll have to spend some time to travel back. Also note that in the light of Moonglade, my hair looks blue when it's supposed to be red, but red's not really a color that you see here. So interesting lighting effect there. Yeah, it's gonna take me some time to get back to where I'm supposed to be. So, you know what? I'm gonna leave that in as an experiment. I'm going to speed up time, and I'm going to show you the whole trip, but sped up significantly. You can watch me try to figure out the fastest way to get back. I think the fastest way to get back is to actually teleport back to Dazara Lore with my Hearthstone. And then from there, take a portal? Well, we'll see. I'm gonna start speeding up right now. Are you lost yet? Don't worry. We are currently in Silvermoon, the Blood Elf capital. We're at least back on the correct continent. So, that's a thing. I'll shut up now and continue the little journey that we're on. So, we were flying through beautiful elven heartland into the ghostlands where things already got a little bit more sinister, and now we are just straight up in the plague lands where, well, it's a real nasty piece of work out here. But we won't be here for very long. So, atop our majestic dragon hawk, we are going to continue our journey in fast forward. Well, it was quite the trip, but here we are, back at Terran Mill. I hope you enjoyed this little insight into just how big World of Warcraft kind of is. And we just actually did a relatively small part of it, but even sped up. That I think that probably took a while. Anyway, I'll see you on the next actual episode, episode 4 of Zulxochi. Goodbye. Boop!